You're listening to Head Vomit. The following episode contains crude, rude, and often offensive content that may feel dirty in your ears. If you're concerned about your ears, please choose carefully when and even if to listen. This podcast is ad-libbed. If you are seeking a libbed podcast, look elsewhere. The views expressed are not necessarily those of the creators.
5 years after the sun killed
5 years after the sun killed all our technology, we found a single working tape player with a cassette inside. What follows is a conversation between two of the survivors of the coronal mass ejection.
Welcome to the new Dark Ages.
Oh, bloody hell, I could do with a cup of tea, couldn't you?
I could really do with a cup of tea,
If only we had some of that gas left. Well, they said it was coming, didn't they? They said the coronal mass ejection's going to hit us in about 6 hours. And everybody started losing their shit. The only reason we're recording this is because it's a battery tape player. We've basically been reduced to savages.
It's just crazy how mad it got so quickly.
Well, I think that's essentially down to the intrinsic nature of human beings. Oh, the sun's, it's a sun fart, basically. It's a sun fart. And the sun farts, and we all pay the price.
So what did you do before the darkening?
Well, I was a sculptor,
Yeah.
so I used to chisel
Chisel what?
faces and things into rocks.
I mean, you've obviously studied human beings, as you have to just sit them in front of you.
Well,
and
yeah,
carve
as an
faces.
artist, I've studied human beings.
Human behaviours.
And
facial
humans, when
expression.
you look at a human's face for that long, you start to understand certain things, like the way they are. We're just animals, really. And it's technology that separates us from the birds and the bees. You've got to admire the animals, though, because we all thought we were much clever. Much more clever than them.
But they're the ones who really succeeded in this situation.
Well, they've adapted better than we have.
In 1 month, they've done a pretty good job of surviving.
My neighbour were eating bark last week off a tree.
I remember I saw...
I said, that won't do you any good, Ken. And he said, fuck off, I'm hungry. Do you want me to eat you instead? And I said, no, you're all right there, Ken, you're all right, carry on.
Which is weird, because the shops were still open after the...
Oh yeah, the
after
shop
it
still
went
had
dark.
stuff at that point.
Yeah, but they were like open for a good 2 weeks, weren't they, after? But
They tried.
People didn't really know what to do, because they thought, my money's not I can't use card anymore.
They thought it was a temporary situation.
Yeah.
When in fact, they didn't know the horrors that would later befall them. So they were going to shop and buying 2 litre of tap water to tide them over. Meanwhile, society's crumbling from the inside. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in the last month, as you must have done.
Yeah.
Because we were up outside of Sheffield, so we weren't in the city centre, right? We met on that hiking expedition.
in the peaks.
In the peaks. So we were quite lucky, really, because the people in the city...
We kind of saw the chaos happening below us.
We saw the fires,
Yeah.
we saw the smoke, and I tell you that much, kid, it wasn't fun.
People freaked out about everything. You got these kids, when they realised they couldn't take a photo or a selfie on Instagram, they didn't know what to do.
I saw, with my own eyes, the fall of Sheffield Uni. I didn't think I'd ever see it. Students murdering each other. What they should have been doing is going down to Tesco and hijacking them £3 huge bags of pasta. We can't get along together, can we, humans?
No.
I mean, if it came to it, I'd probably eat you if I had to.
Oh yeah, I'm just keeping you around for your brawn, really.
I've got quite a lot of lean muscle. I think, though, it might be in our best interests, instead of eating each other, we should probably try and build some sort of post-apocalyptic community.
Do you remember the circus had come to Sheffield?
Yeah.
You did some work on it, didn't you?
I carved them a bust of the ringleader, and I left it outside the circus tent as a kind of welcome home.
Yeah, that was good, that was.
But at 2 a.m. I went back there. I'd got good and liquored up at Steers Beers, and I went back there just for a quick peek at me work, and I saw a clown and a monkey pissing on it. And I said, that's not good. That's not a good omen. I've seen gangs of kids running down the street, preying on the sick and the old. I've seen grannies with shotguns. Peace gardens became the blood gardens. Corpses everywhere. See, I saw several things in the peaks. People started flocking out cities, right?
It's funny you say that, because I was one of these people fleeing the city, because shit just went nuts. And we were driving up through Castleton, up the Winnets Pass, and I remember a Blades fan, atop of a goat, lassoing as many people as he could, with his kids trailing behind, attached to rope.
Well, that is a bizarre sight, isn't it?
He didn't know what to do.
We thought at the time, okay, we'll go into city centre and we'll go down to B&Q, we'll get a few weapons just in case, and we'll go to Tesco's. I remember there were one bag of pasta left, and I went for it, and some other fat fucker came round the corner and tried to take it from me, and I remember pulling a chisel and sticking it between his jawbone and his jugular. It was the first time I killed a man with a chisel to the jaw, and he bled out like a stuck pig. I used to carve stone. Now I carve any fucker who fucks with me.
What did we do after Tesco?
We went out supermarket and then we went to B&Q, because I already had my work chisel on me, but we needed something a bit more serious in case we came across any big muscular guys.
Well, people went real tribal, didn't they?
People went tribal almost immediately. It was right strange, because I remember thinking, all right, everybody stay calm, you know, if we all think this through as a society, we can work together. And then before I'd finished that thought, I saw a man pummeling a child to death on pavement, and I thought, this is all gone a bit wrong. So I proceeded to B&Q, where I bought the biggest fuck-off sledgehammer. It's surprising how many people had thought B&Q.
Yeah.
They went to tool up.
People went for the good weapons first.
Scythes. Chainsaws.
When those stocks started to go down, people had to start getting creative. So I remember seeing an 80-year-old woman walking out with just a large piece of MDF.
Yeah. Yeah, the MDF would last to go, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
This is still on the first day, remember?
Do you think it will blow over? Or do you think we're in for the long haul?
Well, I don't know, but I think we're in for the long haul. I've got a suspicion that once society has crumbled past a certain degree, nothing much is doable, really. I mean, the government's melted. The governments of the world have melted apart. We've been reduced back to a tribal society. And I think it's going to be a long time before we get back to where we were. All my family were miners back in the day before Thatcher fucking bitch closed up mines. Mines are the way forward. We need to bury deep into the Earth's core. That's the only way to survive the nuclear winter that's coming to us. That's why I'm carving a bunker. You know, one of them things, you build it in granite rock. You're welcome to come and live in my cave.
Can I?
Of course you can.
That'd be nice.
Whatever happens, I hope you do okay, mate.
Yeah, me
What
too.
are your hopes for the future? Because you obviously had dreams and ambitions before all this,
Well,
but like, what about now? What are you going to do?
Obviously, originally planning to be a chartered accountant, but that's all down the pan.
I don't think anyone's got much use for that now.
No. Unless society returns to a civilised state.
Oh no, we're fucked.
But if there is a society down the mine...
Well, perhaps that's how we do it then. We just start our own thing down mines.
Shall we?
Because what's the worst that could happen? We die. But it's not any worse than what's going to happen to us up here once the nuclear clouds start winding over. What do you think? We'll become cave people.
We could become kings.
We could become kings of our own kingdom.
The mines.
Below ground. Like Lord of the Rings, like the Mines of Moria. We just need a Balrog. We'll leave this tape up here in case anybody finds it.
Should we bury it?
Why would we do that?
What if we just leave it? It's going to...
Decompose?
Someone might take it.
Well, that's what we want someone to take it in future. Then they might know how this all started. I mean, society could have crumbled to the point where we don't even know what happened.
We just want it to fall in the right hands.
People are going to start blaming God, aren't they? And then we're going to grow up with another civilization that think God did this. Do you remember the big flash? They'll say, Grandma, do you remember the big flash? And Grandma will be like, my grandma told me about the big flash. You're young, you're lucky, you don't know any different. But me, I grew up in hardness and poverty. You're so lucky, children. But they won't be lucky because, you see, they've grown up in a post-nuclear, technology-free world. They'll be living like cavemen again, and all we know is the song of the sky. Anyway, kid, come on, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go, all right. Turn that thing off. Save batteries, go on, turn it off. Save them.